I used to complain about work all the time. The long hours, the disrespect from my boss, getting home exhausted, aching, and sunburned. I worked in construction a lifetime ago. I'd give anything to go back to that now. What's that they always say? You don't know what you've got until it's gone? Maybe I deserve the hand I've been dealt. I haven't been a good person. I don't play well with others. There was an argument with my foreman when I got a little too heated. I just couldn't rein in my temper. The hammer I'd been using all day was still in my hand, but I digress. I used to build things with my hands, but I'm in a different line of work now, if you can call it work. That would imply I get paid. I clock in every morning, and I get to go home afterward. I don't. I'm a prisoner, really. A glorified lab rat, and property of the all-powerful SCP Foundation. I've been here about 3 weeks, and everyone always says D-classes like us last about a month here. So, the clock is ticking down to 0 for me. I haven't had to do anything too dangerous yet, but like I said, it's just a matter of time. I'm sitting in my cell, the same windowless box I've spent every day for the past 3 weeks, when a guard bursts in and grabs me by the arm. "What's going on?" I ask, but he ignores me. Of course, why make conversation with a lab rat? Better not to think of us as human at all. He yanks me down the hall, opens a door, and shoves me inside. There's several other D-class in there already, and they're staring at something in the corner that I can't quite make out. I start to turn around and to take a look at the rest of the room, but a voice comes over the loudspeaker, cold and clinical. "Look at the statue in the corner. Do not take your eyes off it." Well, when a disembodied voice at the SCP Foundation tells you to look at something, you better do it. So I look. It's a sculpture made from concrete and rebar. It looks pretty harmless, but I've heard enough screams through the walls to know they don't keep too many harmless things caged up here. Whatever this thing really is, I don't want to know what it'll do to me when my back is turned. I stare at it, unblinking, feeling my eyes burn and tear up from the dry air and concentration. I'm scared to close my eyes for even a second, determined not to be the first one in here to break. But something out there has other plans for me, for us. I hear a warbling sound like a motor struggling to start, the sudden crash of thunder outside, and then the room goes black. For a second I think I've gone blind, but then I hear the other guys screaming, the yelling of scientists behind the wall. Somehow the power's gone out. I can't see anything, but I can hear the sound of stone scraping against itself, the snap of breaking bones, the thud of a limp body slumping over to the floor. The room comes into focus again, as the backup generator kicks in and fills the space with weak fluorescent light. But something's different. Something's wrong. The statue in the corner is gone. The other 2 men are on the floor, heads twisted around backwards, and the door is standing wide open. Is this a trap? Trick of some kind? If I run out that door, will a guard be waiting there for me? I don't know. But whatever might happen to me if I try can't be any worse than what will happen if I stay right here. Through the wall, I hear the sickening snapping sound again. A corpse thudding to the ground. They didn't plan this. Something in their experiment went horribly wrong for them. Maybe, just maybe, it went right for me. I don't give it a second thought. I'm out the door, running through the dimly lit halls, through the maze of identical corridors in search of some kind of exit. All around me, there's chaos. Guards firing their weapons at inhuman shapes that I catch a brief glimpse of as I run past. Scientists yelling for help, people going as fast as they can towards danger and away from it. I'm so caught up in it all, I don't even notice when I run right into a woman in the white lab coat knocking us both to the ground. I scramble to my feet and look her with wide eyes, waiting for her to turn me in to call the guards, but she doesn't. I'm so sorry, I stammer. She holds out a hand, gesturing for me to help her to her feet. So I do. Watch your step there, she says with a knowing smile. I can't help but notice how beautiful she is. Twinkling brown eyes and thick black hair. Then I spot them. Tucked under her hair but unmistakable, she has a pair of fox ears on top of her head. It hits me in rapid succession then, all the things about this woman that don't look quite right. Her unusually long nails, too sharp and pointed for lab work. The feral glint in her eyes, that halting cadence of her voice. This woman is not an employee of the SCP Foundation. She's doing the same thing I am, taking advantage of the situation to try to escape. I'll, be more careful from now on, ma'am, I say. She winks and turns down the hall. I can see a tail poking out beneath the bottom of her lab coat. Safe travels, I call after her. She laughs, a dangerous sound, like she's not the one who needs to worry about staying safe. and I wonder what might have happened if I had caught her in a worse mood. Good thing my mom taught me my manners. Now, which way should I go from here? Should I follow the woman? I get the feeling she doesn't want any company, and I prefer to stay on her good side. As I'm thinking it through, I hear a small popping sound behind me, like a vacuum in the air being filled all of a sudden. I spin around and there's a guy standing there, ordinary as you please. Blonde hair, green eyes, wearing jeans and a t-shirt that says Mothman Fan Club in red letters. This guy looks pretty out of place, more the type you'd see browsing a comic book store. But after my prior strange encounter, I don't know not to assume anything. Hey man, what's going on? He asks me. I stare back, not sure what to say. What'd I miss? He continues. I feel like I was gone for ages. I gestured to our collective surroundings. The sound of alarms blaring and voices crying out for backup. The inhuman shrieks of creatures being forced back into their cells. There's a lot going on. Yeah, seems like it. The guy sighs. You wouldn't happen to know how to get out of here, would you? I ask hopefully. He shakes his head. Sorry, I don't really come and go through the door here. Guess I'll just go back to my room until things calm down a bit. You want anything? I got a mini fridge in there. He offers. No thanks. Suit yourself, man. He shoves his hands back in his pockets and walks away, whistling a tune to himself. If he's this unfazed by teleporting into the middle of a complete madhouse, I don't even want to know what kind of stuff he's seen. Nice enough kid though. Probably better company than anyone or anything else in this place. If I'm not going to take him up on his offer though, I should keep moving before someone notices I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Around the corner just in time to see another body drop. I whirl around looking for that horrible statue, but I don't see it. Instead, I see what looks like a man, dressed in all black, wearing a mask in the shape of a bird's face with a long pointed beak. He's carrying like an old school doctor's bag and he's bending down to inspect the body of the god that just keeled over. I should keep running. I should do something, but I can't look away. The man in black pulls a syringe full of thick green liquid from his bag and injects it into the corpse. To my horror, the body begins to move, thrashing around, hands opening and closing, grasping for something. It sits up reanimated, but wrong. Its eyes are bulging and vacant, like a goldfish. Its mouth hangs slack. As this zombie climbs to his feet, the figure in all black turns to look at me, eyes shining from beneath his mask. Hello, my good fellow. How are you feeling today? He calls to me, his voice polished and polite. I'm fine, I shout, my hands shaking, my chest tight. The doctor tilts his head to the side thoughtfully. You don't look well, my friend. Perhaps you could allow me to examine you. The zombie shuffles towards me and the doctor opens his bag. There is this pestilence raging through this land, you see. I'm not gonna stick around to find out what that exam might look like or what he might try to do in the service of curing me. No thanks, I don't have health insurance! That is all I can think to say as I turn and run the way back I came. I still have no idea where an exit might be, how I might get out of here. It all looks the same, one long stretch of tile and white. I guess a place like the Foundation isn't gonna have red neon signs telling you how to escape. But this place can't go on forever, can it? I'm starting to have my doubts. Before I can get too lost in my own hopelessness, the biggest man I've ever seen comes lumbering down the hall toward me. I work with some pretty big guys in construction, massive behemoths who could carry steel beams like they were pool noodles. But this man? Something else entirely. He's gotta be like, what, 8 feet tall? With fists that they look like they could crush my skull in one hit. I better get out of this monster's way if I know what's good for me. But as he passes me, he waves and gives me a great big friendly, if unnaturally wide, smile. Beautiful day, isn't it? He bellows in that booming French accented voice. With his other hand, he picks his teeth with something white. A closer look reveals to be a shot of bone. I have to imagine it's human. His lips are stained dark with blood. You look lost! Can I help you with something? A helpful people eater. What a guy. I keep my distance but decide to try my luck. You wouldn't happen to know where the exit is, I say. He beams at me, thrilled by my question. I'm so glad you asked, it's this way! He points down the hall to the left. Just follow that hall all the way down and take the only right. That should get you where you're going. Thanks. Give him a wave back as I head that way. As I go, I can hear the giant singing opera to himself, something Italian. Reminds me of a record my grandma used to play a long time ago. Maybe this will get me free, maybe it won't. But it's more information than I had a second ago. Might as well give it a shot. If I make it through this, I'm gonna be in the best shape of my life from all the running I've done today. Maybe I'll try to do a marathon. Or maybe I shouldn't get ahead of myself. There's no one else down this particular hall, at least no one that I can see. I slow my pace to a steady walk, keeping my eyes and ears alert for any potential threats. So far, so good. I reach the other side of the hall and take a right turn and nothing. Just a wall. That giant son of a gun lied to me. I guess that's what I get for asking a cannibal for directions. I guess I'm lucky he just misled me instead of having me for dessert. I'm about to play my next move when I feel something nudge against the back of my leg. I turn and there's what I can only describe as a blob. Just a large mass of orange slime wrapped around my legs, making a friendly, high-pitched gurgle. I should be suspicious of it after everything I've seen, but I'm not. I just get the feeling that this thing has my best interest in heart. Hey, buddy. I pat its slimy surface and it ripples delightedly, making another gurgling sound. It's kinda cute, honestly. I smell the scent of freshly brewed coffee, one of my favorite smells in the world. I haven't had a decent cup in years. All of a sudden, I feel this overwhelming sense of happiness, of hope. Even if it's foolish to think so, I honestly believe that everything's gonna be alright. This strange little friendly slime has given me the strength to carry on. I wish I had a plushy version of this thing. There's a sudden tickling sensation along my legs and I laugh, pushing the slime away gently. Hey, stop that! It coos apologetically and bumps itself against me like a stray dog asking for scratches behind the ears. I wonder for a second if I could take this thing with me. But what would I even feed it? What kind of life could I give a domesticated slime creature? Better to leave it with the people who know how to care for it, even if they're mad scientists. I give it another pat, then head on my way. The slime oozes off in the opposite direction. I'll have to find more new friends, I imagine. I had no idea there was anything nice in here, with everything horrible I've seen today. Warms my cold heart just a little bit. It's strange. Been walking for a while and I haven't seen anyone else. It's eerily quiet over here. I can't hear a thing except for that alarm in the distance. Not sure when all the screaming went quiet or where all the guards went. It's peaceful, but I have to admit it's eerie. There's no way it's this easy. There's no way I'll just be able to walk out of here. Life doesn't work like that, especially not here. My eyes dot around, watching for any potential danger as I go. Maybe all the action is on the other side of the facility. Maybe something broke out of containment that's so big, so dangerous that all hands are on deck to contain it. Or maybe they're all dead, and I'm next. Nah, I shouldn't think like that. I feel the hairs on the back of my neck prickle, and I have that paranoid feeling of being watched, like eyes burning into me. I glance behind me, but there's no one there. I stop walking, but I don't hear any other footsteps. Calm down. There's no one here with you, I tell myself. Just keep moving. I turn my eyes back to the path ahead of me and I freeze. What was that? I saw something just for a second, something long, thin, spindly, like a stick bug, but much bigger. When I look for it, it's gone, but I know that I saw it. Well, this place has now driven me insane. I glance to the side and there it is again. For a split second, so fast I could almost convince myself I imagined it. If I were at home or walking down an ordinary street, I might think I had, but I'm not anywhere ordinary. And a slender monster that can hide in my peripheral vision only to be spotted for a millisecond at a time? That seems par for the course in a place like this. There! I just saw it again! It's like it wants me to know it's here, but that I'll never be able to pin it down. I'm not playing mind games with that monster. Forget it. I'll keep moving. Another flash of the creature, closer than it was before. Whatever, you don't scare me! I say out loud. I'm lying, but I hope it can't tell. If I just play it cool, maybe this thing will get bored and find someone else to menace. I haven't been running for a long time now, but my heart is still pounding. I can taste metal in the back of my throat. Suddenly all the sounds from before are back. The gunfire, the scream, and the shriek of alarms. I made my way back to the action. One sound drowns out all the rest. A deafening roar, animalistic and powerful and hateful. It reminds me of a dinosaur in a movie, but with a power that makes my bones rattle and my teeth chatter. The roar is followed by more screaming and a massive crash, the crunch of wood and stone. There's another roar, more distant than before. Wait, whatever made that sound, it just broke out. I bet it left a pretty big hole in its wake. I follow the sound and find exactly what I hope I would. A massive opening in the wall, and the sweet feeling of a breeze coming through. I couldn't find an exit, but this thing just made one for me. I don't waste any more time. I make a break for it, dancing around rubble and pools of corrosive acid and sprinting into the nearby forest. I'm ducking under branches, dotting around trees, and I run until I'm seeing spots in my lungs are gasping for air. I don't know how far I'll make it, if there's a town nearby or any kind of shelter, but I promise one thing. If I survive, I'm gonna be a better person. I'll get it right this time. I'll earn my second chance at life. Now go check out How to Work at the SCP Foundation Explained and Revenge of D-Class Ghosts of SCP-4973 Dead Men Walking for more look at the lives and deaths of SCP Foundation D-Class.